let's bridge over from the FSC to Aspire. Now, confirm that all the information is accurate on the FSC. Follow the file checklist and go to the bridge, select Aspire. It's going to bridge over to the website. The robo form should be there. Just select the name and it's going to automatically log you into the website. Now, all the companies are pretty basic and it's almost the same process. You really don't have to do much. All you have to do is just continue. Now, for Aspire, it technically skips the info, the driver, the violations, the vehicles, the coverages. It takes you into the rate section. So all you have to do, since you bridged everything over from the FSC, you're just going to continue. Now for the underwriting questions, you're going to answer 4 or 5 questions depending on the drivers. So in this case, do you know any other vehicles not listed on the application? If yes, please explain. So you're going to press no. Are any other vehicles used for business occupations? You're going to press no. So the underwriting questions is always no. Producer questions, I have asked the applicant all questions. So you're going to read, you could read it, but all the all the answers are the same. The answer for producer questions are yes. And then international license must have never been licensed in the US. So you're always going to if it's an international license, you're always going to select the answer. And then under community service statement, you're just going to select the gender of the drivers and the ethnicity. And you're going to go next. And then that message is going to show up. Just press yes. Now it's technically running the driving record. So for Aspire, they also run a consumer report. So all of these drivers, undisclosed drivers, there's 1, 2, 3 drivers. So you either have to reject the driver, match with listed drivers. So if a name shows up, but it matches one of the drivers, then you're going to match the information and you're going to put add driver or exclude the driver. So if they have no clue who the drivers are, just reject the drivers. And then you could just select not in household and press OK. Now, if one of the drivers, for example, Christian Polanco, if one of the drivers lives under the same address, then just exclude them from the policy. Let the customer know that the driver will not be driving the vehicle. And for training purposes, we'll reject the third driver. So not unknown individual, okay? Maybe they don't know who it is. It's just someone that used to live under the same address. Now, if you exclude any drivers, it's going to take you to the next page. So if you exclude any drivers or if you reject any drivers, you have to answer the questions and then you're going to go next. Now, if you exclude any drivers, it's going to take you to the drivers section because you're going to need to select a few options. So let's go back to the drivers section. And as you can see, there was a red X indicating that there's something missing. So go to the driver's section and then is requesting the marital status. So let's just put single. Sometimes it's going to ask you for the date of birth. Just ask the client if they know who they are. Just ask them roughly their age. And then just go next. Or instead of going one by one, you could just go all the way to the rate, and then it's going to skip a couple. At this point, it already ran the record. So under the rate option, it tells you, it gives you the options of the monthly payment. So EFT, RCCP, that's technically payments from the debit or credit card, and the first one is just direct bill. Is always a 30-day cycle. So in this case, for the 17% down payment direct bill, 118 is submission and 119 is a monthly payment. If they want to use their checking account, then we're looking at 123 submission and 115 a month. So you could choose either one. But for training purposes, let's select the first, which is direct bill. And you continue. You already answered these questions. So you're just going to continue, and you're going to go to the last page to process the application if the policy is sold. If it takes you back to the rate option, just continue. Just go back until you go through the validation, and then you go to payment. Now, if we go back to the rate, the option that we selected is offering monthly payments of 119 and submission of 122.17. So if you go to the payment, which is the last page, it's going to give you the 122.17, which is submission. You go to trust, and producer sweep. So for Aspire, when you're processing the application, you're going to select trust for payment method and producer sweep as the way of processing the application, and then you would just select the finish, and the application is processed.